Hey friends, quick how-to for this Thursday. We are going to talk really quick about deer. We've had deer this year, which is fun and new a little bit because we haven't really had issues with them. But I'm seeing what works and what doesn't and what we need more of. So I wanted to kind of share some of that. I wrote a whole blog post. We also have a podcast this week about this as well. But I'm going to give you like a firsthand look at how some of these things are working. So basically here on our wall, which to give you some perspective, we have this wall that goes around our upper garden. Our raised beds are up there. And we have lavender outside. These ones are 2 years old. That one I've already cut, but it is almost 3 years old. And then we have this fence, more or less, that's made out of 3 different types of bushes. I will put those below. And here what we have is we're using a couple things. So deer hate lavender. They do not like it. They do not want to go near it. They want nothing to do with it. It's the smell, it's all sorts of things about it that they do not like. So it acts as a wonderful perimeter to, one, keep them away. Secondly, what we have going on here is that we have this hedge that has varying heights. You can kind of see, like, it's not like straight across. And what deer don't like is they don't like if they cannot read something. They don't want to be trapped. So if they cannot differentiate the height, the width, the depth, all of that, they won't even attempt to jump it because it's weird to them. Like it doesn't make sense in their minds with how their brains and eyesight works. So that's how we keep deer more or less out of here. On the blog post, I have a list of a bunch of plants that they also won't eat that deter them, a mix of everything. We use all of those, and I'm going to show you some of those down here in our other garden. Now, we are having issues on our trees here. See, this guy had wonderful leaves, and now he doesn't. So we've had a little friend coming around. This same friend is also walking on my yarrow right here. But what I want to talk about, because a lot of people ask me this, is about our fence. So our fence is only about 4 feet high. It's about as tall as my 5-year-old. But we have these poles that are over 8 feet high. So what our thing is to save money, instead of building a fence that was 8 feet tall, which deer technically could still jump over, we built a fence that was 4 feet. And a lot of people think, well, don't they just jump in? They actually don't, and here's why. So outside of the garden, we have a lot of different things going on. So we have a perimeter of all these rocks and flowers. These are all things that they do not like. Now, we had the deer the other day that kind of came over and walked over here. They also chomped off a couple little bits of our snap peas, but they never went inside. And I think there's a couple reasons why. I think it has to do with the varying heights of the snap peas here along this fence. And then especially over here, I'll show you. You can see like it's got all these different heights because of the peas. This one's falling over now. They need to go. I'm going to grow cucumbers up here instead, and to kind of create more of that. And then inside I have all these plants that they also don't like. So there are, let's see, radishes and marigolds, and I'm trying to look around, dill. There's all sorts of plants in here. The list is, like I said, it's all in the blog post. But the thing is like, I always told myself, listen, if we start noticing that these guys are coming in, here's what we're going to do. So along the post between here and there, I plan to take fishing line or some kind of string and zigzag it, kind of like crisscross it across those posts, because it would freak them out as well, because they won't like that sort of thing. They won't know where it is, where it isn't, and they could get trapped once again. So it's not about building a fence that's super high. It's about knowing what they don't like. And so fishing line has like a glittering scent to it in the light from their eyes. So it actually will deter them as well. The other thing that we have them on this side, so I'll just show you, but we're going to move these ones here this weekend. We have these things called night guards. These are on the exterior of our chicken coop on different posts around our compost pile, things like that. what they do is this, it's solar powered up here, and then it has a little battery inside, and then this light flickers different colors. And at night, as soon as it gets dusk and the sun's no longer around, they're triggered by the light and they start flickering, and they actually keep the deer away and they keep other predators away. So we don't really have a lot of predators in our garden because of those as well. So it's a huge mix. But in the blog post, I also talk about how you can use motion sensing lights. There's all sorts of other things you can use, like bird netting, which we use on our grapes, and which are pretty exposed. But all those things together are making it much safer for our garden. Now, I talk about in the podcast about what I'm going to do for these trees. Basically, right now, I'm probably just going to cage them or net them and keep them safe for now. And then this winter, I'm a little concerned about them because if they've already found them, they're going to find them again. So we're just going to have to play it by ear. Worst case, we lose a tree. But I think that these guys, sometimes nature has a way of like, maybe this is the deer pruning my tree and it coming back stronger and better. I don't know. You know me. We'll see how it goes. But I think we're going to have to probably put some cages around them. I'll keep you posted on that one. But I hope that's really helpful. If you have tips yourself that have worked in your garden on how to keep the deer away, drop them in below. But for now, I hope that's really helpful. Next week, we are going to talk about garlic harvesting because it's time.